Hey everyone, and welcome back to a special episode of Just Read It MCKay. Normally, we're here diving deep into fantasy worlds, emotionally attaching ourselves to fictional characters, and overanalyzing every plot twist like it's our full-time job. But today, we're switching things up a little bit. Instead of breaking down chapters or spiraling over fan theories, we thought it would be fun to let you get to know us a little better as readers. So we're answering all kinds of bookish questions, our favorite book reads in March, authors will auto buy no matter what, comfort reads, ACOTAR hot takes, and probably expose way too much about ourselves in the process. Basically, if you've ever wondered what kind of readers three fantasy obsessed women in their 30s actually are behind the scenes, this episode is for you. So grab your coffee, your current reads, or your morally gray boyfriend of choice, and let's get into it. At what part of the book did you begin to feel invested or totally lose interest for A Court of Thorns and Roses, book one?
It took me up until she had the conversation with Tamlin where she realized she didn't have to take care of her family anymore and they were still okay to be fully vested in the story.
Okay.
I felt most invested when Feyre finally settled in at the Spring Court. And then when this mysterious person, just happened to be introduced at Calanmai. And then I couldn't put it down after that.
So I had actually seen spoilers in regards to Rhysand prior to reading the books and like little quotes from him and thought, this is the type of character I'd like to read about. So I read the whole first book, not like already knowing that he was endgame. And I was just invested the entire way through because I was like, where is he? I just need to see him. When does he join us? So I guess from about the point that he joins on Calamni as well, which I can't pronounce either, but you know. Okay, do you annotate your books or keep a reading journal? I do both because I have underlined quite a few things in my book. Nobody hate me. But I also have a very large document that I have typed up all of my thoughts, notes, all in one spot.
I tend to highlight on my Kindle now, but that's about it. Otherwise, I keep a book journal for what I read for the year, starting as of this year, but I'm about a month behind. So I kind of just talk about books and don't do any of the annotating or any of that.
I actually don't like the thought of writing or doing anything to harm my books. So Dollar Tree actually had some little book journals and I couldn't pass them up. So it just, you write down the title and an author, and I like to note how long it took me to read the books. And there's like a little spot for notes or like a review, I guess, but that's about it though.
So I'm the only one who's marking up my pretty pages.
Yeah.
Got it.
I
Good to know.
told you,
never.
as much
I
as
could
everyone
never.
could hate me, I do dog ear my pages. That is the
That
one
is a
thing I
hard
do.
no.
I don't do.
No.
So, but I can't handle the idea of writing in mine either. So we're back and forth on what our no level is.
Yeah.
I just like when I reread them, I want to be able to remember, oh, I thought this part was important. Or when somebody else reads my books, then they can think, oh, she thought this part was important. So I'm okay with it. I seriously came really close to actually purchasing the paperback version of all the books and only writing in those because I do have the original hardbacks for all of the series. So not the new ones, but the old ones. But then I was like, I really don't need like a fifth copy of this book series. So I just bit the bullet and started writing in them. Okay. Do you prefer a beach read or a literary classic? I am all about the beach read. Do not give me anything that's like old school literary. We already did Wuthering Heights. That's like my one literary book for the next 10 years. Make it nice and fun and easy for me to read, and I'll be happy.
I think I have to go with you on that one.
Mm-hmm.
All about the beach reads.
I feel the same way
Especially
after
these
reading
days.
Wuthering Heights. I can't.
I didn't even try reading Wuthering Heights after C's review because we are so similar with how we read. I was like, nah, I'm good. I don't need the time.
And most of them have a movie adaptation now anyways. So just let me watch the movie. I don't. And most of the time, too, I'm usually reading something darker. So having something lighter to pick up in between the dark books, I'd definitely rather read something that's lighthearted than something I can't really understand and I have to read a modern version of to understand it.
That's true too. All right, what is your favorite genre? This one's kind of broad, but we'll start with that.
Oh, all-time favorite, I would have to say the psychological thriller. I definitely pull psychological thriller 24/7. However, I have gotten more into the contemporary sports romance place in the last year.
Once you're in it, it's so hard to get out.
Yeah, but then you pull up the thrillers like I had last week and I was like, "Oh, I forgot these are so good." So it's kind of warring with each other right now for me.
I think fantasy, I want to say it's my favorite, but it's not my go-to because I like to put all of my energy and thoughts towards fantasy when I read it. So it's not always an escape. So romance, contemporary romance, probably more sports romance, if we're being honest, is going to be my preferred read, what I read the most of. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, mine's probably fantasy romance as well, but I really enjoy reading gothic romance or dark romance, I guess, if you want to. They're usually mixed together, but I really enjoyed Nocticadia, and I guess that's considered dark romance, or not dark romance, but gothic romance, and it was just that good. I just really enjoyed it.
Awesome. All right. Your favorite trope. And I sent you all a list because
It was
there are quite a few of them. So off of that very long list, other than sports romance, because I am obviously, like I said, a huge sports romance fan, hockey is probably my favorite. Soccer is my second favorite, which is weird because I don't watch much sports to begin with, but soccer, I don't know why, just I like that one too. But outside of that, I am gonna have to say age gap where he is older is like if you tell me there's an age gap and he's older, and even better if it's Grumpy Sunshine, I am all for it. Hands
really
down.
funny.
Hence my significant other is 8.5 years older than me. So
Fair enough.
And he's pretty grumpy.
he is. That's true. He is grumpy. He's glaring at me now.
That's okay. You can tell him I said it.
Apparently he can hear you
Okay.
now. I would say, I mean, I hate to say opposites attract, but I have gotten really into that recently myself. But I would almost say opposites attract in full lifestyle opposites attract. Like I have gotten so much into the nerdy and jock combo. That is my trope slash mini trope. Age gap doesn't really get me as much as woman in position of power, that type of. So she doesn't have to be older, but her having the life experience or the almost teacher learning balance. So yeah.
It was quite a long list, so I just, looked at it for a little while. Definitely the forced proximity, always anything. I really like fake relationship books.
Okay.
And then fated mates, obviously. And anything that has one bed, yes, sign me up, please.
Love it. I love how we're different because when you ask my least favorite trope, fake dating is on my least favorite list.
Really?
Yeah. Not as like it used to be that if it was fake dating, I didn't touch it because there are so many fake dating. And in my mind, there are so many that are just so predictable in the writing. But I have read quite a few recently that aren't as predictable. So it's not high on my least favorite list anymore. Least favorite is age gap in the opposite direction. If the girl is older than the boy, I'm like, no. I think I've read
even-
2 and I only liked one of them.
I didn't even look at the list and look at what might be my least favorite. I don't know. I couldn't tell you what my least favorite of that is.
Bully romance. Nope. That's
Bully,
not
oh,
least
yeah.
favorite.
I was gonna say the bully side of things
Nope.
for sure.
Won't do it.
I would say that's got to be on the list for my least favorite.
I haven't really read
Otherwise,
anything
though,
yet like that. So I don't know
I've
if the
read a
story's
couple and I've
good.
stopped partway through a couple of the stories because I'm over it.
Yeah.
Yep. If she's being bullied, that's fine, but it's when they are bullying her or the main male is bullying her. That's what gets me. No.
Yeah.
And see, I love the Fated Mate when I'm in the right mood. If I'm feeling super cynical that day, I can't handle a Fated Mate because I'm like, really? Where's the choice? Why? I get so persnickety with it. So I would say that could be a 50-50 least favorite or up with most favorite. It's kind of my sliding scale for what I get into on that end.
I get that too.
I do like, what I've realized I've liked is uncovering royalty, finding a past or royalty ties. That would be like a mini trope I would say I've gotten to enjoy. The
Okay.
unexpected heiress or the unexpected royal line, royal blood.
Would you get
But that
more in
might also be
historical romance? Would you like?
that might be the Philippa Gregory coming out recently. Might be that. I didn't think about historical romances till you said that, but yeah, that's apparently I just can't stop reading. That's just my thing.
I know
Give
I'm
me
looking
all
at
the
some of
fun
these. I'm
stuff.
like, just maybe I can just try out some of these, and if it's a good story, then yeah.
Okay, next question. Do you consider yourself a slow or fast reader?
Fast. Very fast.
Yeah, I would agree. You are very fast at reading when we try and read at the same time. I am a slow reader. That is why I listen to Audible often 1.2 speed because I read
Mm,
slow.
It honestly just depends for me. And it depends on the book too. Like I've said though, I have a hard time not finishing a book because I just want to get through it to get through it. But probably gonna have to work on that a little bit. I have a problem. It honestly just depends, I guess. But if I'm listening, it takes me a little bit longer to get through it. But that's really the only way that I can read, I guess, right now with just my life at the moment. But when I'm actually physically reading, I get through the books pretty fast.
How many books have you read this year?
Not enough.
I think I'm at
48.
30. Okay.
Wait, what? Oh,
48.
okay. I don't want to say.
We don't have kids though.
It's
Keep in
okay,
mind,
right?
we don't have kids. And up until the last month with the cat, like it's literally just the two of us doing our own thing half the time. So downtime
'Cause
is full of books.
36.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Again, I don't have kids.
Listen,
Here all the time. We'll put it that way.
I've only read 8.
That's
That's
okay. That's more than most people in the
it.
world.
Technically, it took me so long to read Brimstone though, so it might be 9 because I actually finished it in January.
Then it counts. Then it
Give
counts.
it,
Yeah,
yeah.
so 9.
Okay. Do you have any reading goals for this year?
I have number of books. I wanted to get to 155 after last year, but I also had a little mini goal of being okay DNFing something. And I've actually DNF'd 3 separate books, not necessarily due to disinterest, but just emotionally, I was not in a place to try and continue reading some of the historical stuff because it was a little Nazi Germany-esque and it was not where my mood
Oof.
needed to be at the time. So yeah, being okay DNFing is a new thing.
Yeah.
There, that's gonna be Kay's goal this year too.
Yeah,
I'm
I
putting
think
it
I'm
on
gonna
you.
have to add that. Or maybe, well, I can't say maybe not reading stuff because you don't know until you try to read the book if you like it or not. So I don't really want to I just got back into reading and I don't want to put a goal, like a number on myself because I feel like that's going to take the fun out of it. And reading is really fun for me right now. My biggest right now is trying to work through my TBR and getting all of the things I want to read out of the way because it's piling up very quickly. So I think
Not gonna.
listen, I'm going to try.
Love it. My goal this year is kind of all of those. I read 180 last year, but at least 100, if not like 120, maybe 130 of them were rereads and not new reads.
Wow.
So my goal this year is probably more closer to 100, but the majority of them need to be new reads, not rereads, because I just reread the same stuff over. It's my comfort books that I just read over and over again. So I want to try more. And I'd love to say I'm going to knock stuff off my TBR list, but I have 766 books
Mhm.
on my TBR. The
With our
chances of
recent purchases, though, we can definitely start working on that because
recent purchases, you mean the 40 books I bought last week? Yeah, sure.
I
We'll
like
get through
said
those
didn't have
soon.
that many, but I got to 26. So yeah.
And
yeah.
all the dramatized versions of ACOTAR and Crescent City I got, and that was 14 total. So if you
Mhm.
include those, I didn't buy that many books. That's what
That
I'm going to
many.
tell myself.
Yeah.
I mean, my TBR has quadrupled every month since, well, my birthday last year when I really officially started reading. So, okay, I've only been back into the realm of reading consistently since July last year myself. And all of a sudden, I just shot off like a rocket this year. And I was
Yeah.
like, I have to read everything possible. So,
And then we became friends, and
and
I
then
just
my
can't
TBR
stop
has not,
recommending books.
but I got you to get some off of my TBR this time.
This
So,
is true. This is true. I'm talking to M and texting with K, and they're both telling me, hey, you need to add this. Hey, this is what I just added to my
No.
list. So I'm like, all right, I'll take 3 from M and 4 from K, and I'll just get them both.
as
Yeah,
it
because
should
I
be.
showed you what I bought, and you're like, oh, I bought all these too. It cracked me up.
Uh-huh. All y'all's faults. What book was your favorite read in March?
In Her Own League, Liz Tom 40. I read it and listened to it. So it's actually my only one I've reread this year, too.
Wow. I would have to agree. I also read that one in the month of March, and it was my favorite. It was a very close second with Love Song by Elle Kennedy, but In Her Own League by Liz Tom 40, it definitely takes the top spot. That's easy.
They were both so perfect, but yeah, it was the winner by far.
I only read 2, and Crescent City took up the majority of March, so it was definitely Crescent City.
But what was the other one that you read?
I take it back 3. So the other one was Between Life and Death, which I should
Which
have
sucked.
DNF'd that one, but I didn't. And then I read Phobia, which is the Nocticadia novella, which
Gotcha.
wasn't that
Okay.
long. And it was really good too,
It
but it
still
wasn't,
counts.
yeah, it wasn't anything major. So definitely Crescent City.
I love it. All right, last question. Do you have a favorite author? And if so, who? I have like 4, because at this point, I think it's safe to say we all have Sarah J. Maas as our favorite author, or one of our favorite authors. Liz Tom 40, who wrote the Windy City series, all of her books, all 6 of them are fantastic. And I can't wait for her next one coming out the end of this year. But outside of those 2, Mariana Zapata is probably my favorite, and she is my comfort books. I think she is 13 or 14 at this point, and I honestly can't tell you how many times in the last 2 years that I have reread or re-listened to her books. They are slow burn romance. You've
Remind me of the
probably
title.
never heard of
Yeah.
any of them because she's not a very well-known author, but The Wall of Winnipeg and Me is a sports romance with football. That's probably one of her more popular ones. Under Lock is kind of like a Sons of Anarchy type romance. So good. But they're like that favorite TV show that you put on that in the background that you're not paying attention to because you've watched it so many times. That's what these books are for me. Like I just want to live in their worlds. It's just awesome. So those are my 3 favorite authors. And Elle Kennedy is a really close 4th because I really like most of her stuff. And Emily Rath. Now I'm done.
I would say, of course, like you said, JM is there for all of us. And that's an easy one for me. Currently, Liz Tom 40 is up there. I fell in love with Windy City series myself because of you, so I get to blame that one on you, see. But aside from that, growing up, which way too young to have read them at the time, I've always had a pull toward talking some darker psychological, real messed up stuff, is the VC Andrews books. I have read probably everything out other than in the last 5 years. And I always go back to them kind of the way C is describing the Mariana Zapata ones. But Laura McKinsey this year, I read her Maya's blog series, and those books where she wasn't my favorite read in March because of everything else I read. She has been my favorite author I've gotten to focus on this year. They're just so beautiful, so sweet, so funny, so my heart. And so I would say Laura McKinsey is definitely up there as my top 3 right now, with SJM and then Liz Tom 40. And then we'll count VC Andrews as my past favorite, but not 24/7.
I really don't like putting favorites on things because it changes so much. I don't really have one. I just gravitate toward books more. I really like Carrie Lake right now. She's the one that wrote Nocticadia, and I'm really hoping to read more. And then Christy Boyce wrote the Dungeons and Drama. Yeah, even if they're geared toward a younger audience, they are just so cute, and her writing is so good. I just love them. Obviously, Sarah J. Maas, that's kind of a given. And then Stephanie Meyer. So Twilight is my comfort read. I can't tell you how many times I've read those books. She'll always be on my list.
We've also read them, so you're in good company.
Repeatedly.
Uh-huh. Yeah, she'll always be there.
I love it. Okay, I think that was all of our questions for today's session.
All right, friends, that's all for today's little bookish therapy session. Hopefully now you know us a little better, from our favorite book worlds to our very questionable reading habits. We had so much fun doing this episode, and we will definitely need a part 2 because apparently we have a lot of opinions. Let us know your answers to some of these questions too. We want to hear your favorite books, auto-buy authors, comfort reads, all of it. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and come back next time when we deep dive right back into the fantasy chaos we know and love. Until then, happy reading, and may your TBR never stop growing.